I'm very full of myself today. Before I start, Chris, you need a cool producer name, like nickname. Like we call you Chris, but that's your name. You need something, bro.
I like my name, man.
Yeah. You want to just keep it at Chris?
Yeah.
Monsieur Chris.
Christopher, Joseph, CJ. You can call me.
Where's that coming from?
It's my middle name, man.
Oh, okay.
You can call me CJ if you really want.
You're not a CJ.
I know.
Dude, there's something about you is definitely not CJ.
You're not a Joseph, man.
In one of my classes, there's just
doesn't fit.
There's a lot of Christians and Chris's and shit. So my teacher was like, "All right, what do y'all want to be called?" And I was like, somebody already had like Chris or something, and there's a Christian, so I'm like, all right, you just call me CJ. That's different. She's like, do people call you CJ? I'm like, no one calls me CJ, but you can if you want. And she does. She calls me CJ. Dude, I'll answer to it, but no one calls me CJ.
I'm gonna say, like, even though I can't see you obviously, but you don't look like a CJ.
No. You don't sound like
the two blind guys are like, you don't look like a CJ.
You don't look like a CJ.
Loser.
You don't look like a Joseph.
Joe.
Dude, at least you're not like me and making up your own nickname and making people buy into it.
All right, let's start with that. All right.
know?
So a while back, John.
What a douchebag I am.
John was at this. John was at this.
Let's just call it a training facility
training
center
place
for the visually impaired and blind.
Yeah, and he was there for like 3 months or something.
Yeah, just about.
And so he came over one day and he's like, "Oh, dude, everyone is calling me Uncle Johnny." And I was like,
Uncle John. Yeah.
Why are they calling you Uncle Johnny? I was like, I don't know, man. People are just calling me Uncle Johnny now. And that had been something that he and I had come up with. And I was like, wait, did you like just tell people to call you Uncle Johnny? And it stuck. It's like, yeah, man, I made up my own nickname. And he was so proud of this.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, that's not how nicknames work. Like, you can't make, unless you're like a wrestler or some shit. And even then, like, I know, you make up a character. You make up a character or something. But, I don't know. The whole making up your own nickname thing, man.
But, dude, everybody bought into it, even some of the staff. It's like,
you were probably telling everyone, like, they call me Uncle Johnny.
I'm such a lazy prick. I'd start, like, calling myself Uncle Jay. Like, I wouldn't even say Uncle John at some points. I'd just say, yeah, Uncle Jay in the house. When I still talk to, like, my friend Chris or Will or Danielle, they still call me Uncle Jay. Well, Will still calls me Uncle Jay.
Oh, man, that is hilarious.
It's funny.
I've never made up my own nicknames.
It works.
But I've had, like, really horrible nicknames.
I have, too, when I was a kid. What was yours?
Well, I think, like, the nicest nickname that I had, which is, like, really stupid, but because I was always really close to, like, I always had a lot of friends who were girls.
Me too.
And, I was always the guy who had to deal with their shit. Like, whenever they would be in a fight or needed, like, relationship advice. Like, really, I just wanted to get with them, as usual. But I'm too nice and I'm too, like, I take too long to like, go for it and just be like, no, I think I just want to fuck you. But, I'm also a good friend, so I'm too nice to them. And in high school, it was Mr. Romance.
I don't get that.
It's gay as hell.
It's terrible.
It is a horrible nickname.
Don't tell me you answered to that.
Well, dude, my friends who were girls called me that.
Why?
I don't know, because I was the guy giving, like, relationship advice and shit, and, like, dealing with them crying every night.
You should have wrote a column for your school newspaper, Ask Mr. Romance.
Dude, I could have. That's an opportunity missed right there.
Dumb fuck.
Now I can't. Now I'm not Mr. Romance
If you
anymore.
can only go back, dude, you could do it. Go back in time. You passed the torch to who?
Benny Changa.
He's a reliable one to carry the torch.
Yeah. He's got the skills.
Ben's a funny motherfucker, man.
Fuck yeah.
He really is.
He is funny. But, that's what they called me, dude. And I could do nothing about it.
So you didn't... Who made that up? You didn't make that up,
No,
obviously.
I didn't. No, I never made up my own nicknames. It was just...
well, what was another one? Because that's
my friend
god-awful.
Tracy made it up. and then it just stuck. Then my friend Gina started calling me that.
For sure.
For sure.
Can we just interview Molly and the whole time I'll just go, for sure.
That'd be great.
I gotta meet this chick, man.
That'd be great. I gotta introduce you guys. She's always working. She's always so busy. I haven't hung out with her in 4 years.
I'm working for sure.
For sure, I'm working. For sure.
So what's your other nicknames while we're still on this?
So that was one. That was like, and that's the nicest. I'm not saying it's a good nickname. I'm just saying that was like the nicest. I was also Bottled Water, which is another really dumb one.
I have a good, well, you may not own it. Remember we used to go on the chat lines and I was Rock and Roll Johnny and you were Bottled Water?
Yeah,
that was a fun night.
Because we would go on the
that was a fun night.
We would go on the chat lines over on the phone and talk to random bitches and random like
people. I guess.
And what happened was once I guess they had like live rooms, like live chat rooms, and I was in a live chat room and someone comes in and is like, "Who's in here?" And I was like, "Hey, what up?" And whoever was listening, whoever was talking to me on the chat room was like, "Did you say Bottled Water? That's going to be your new nickname or whatever." So she started calling me Bottled Water. I was friends with her for a while. And that was like a really dumb nickname. Then I had tampons.
Tampons.
Because of the last name, Campos. And
terrible.
My friend Jackie I was at a party in high school. Loud as hell. A bunch of high school kids. And she goes, "Oh, what's your name?" And I was like, "Max." And she goes, "Max what?" I was like, "Max Campos." And she goes, "Tampons?"
And right as she said tampons, everybody stopped talking. Right?
Dude, no, not really. It wasn't like
just
that.
Heard her go, "Tampons!"
It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that Hollywood reaction
Would be
shot.
great if it
like
was,
what?
Though.
No, but after that, it definitely stuck. So
that's
Jackie
terrible.
and Kim and all these other people who were like mutual friends started calling me tampons, and then obviously maxi pads.
Oh, I've called you that.
Yeah.
That's nothing creative.
Maxi pads.
It's terrible too.
Macaroni and cheese.
That's horrible. It's funny for like a second, but then I'm over it.
I know.
It's funny like a millisecond, and then it's like, oh, I'm over it. No, I don't need to hear it again. Please.
Oh, dude. But I don't know. Now I don't really have nicknames. I mean, Maximiliano being my full name, and then like everybody just calls me Max, but that's short like Chris for Christopher or something.
That's just people being lazy.
No, it's just one of those names.
Well, it's easy to say Max. Maximiliano is a sort of a mouthful.
Yeah.
But
a mouthful. That's what she said.
Oh. Growing up, my mom used to call me Radar. John, Radar.
Radar?
Yeah, Radar, John, you heard that all the way upstairs, John? Radar. Because, we lived in this shit house that was, not even, it was, a two-family.
Yeah.
And our landlord, lived on the other side. But the walls were, paper thin. Yeah. So, even if you're, all the way upstairs in my room, which is weird, I didn't have a door to my bedroom. My mom just hung a blanket as a door to my room.
Radar.
Radar, you hear everything, don't you, John? Everything.
You hear everything, but you see nothing.
Right, exactly. Ain't that the truth? So that was one of my nicknames growing up. Man. That kind of stuck for a while. Sometimes she'll still do it, but not as much.
I never had any nicknames from family.
Yeah. It's a pretty good one. It was accurate. What's weird, man, is I don't think my hearing's any better than anybody else's.
Yeah.
I just think I've learned how to use it so differently that it probably is heightened at some level.
Dude, my hearing is shot because of playing drums
and shit. Yeah.
Oh, so shot. And it's weird. I don't know. I never looked into this, but I definitely have a hard time focusing when let's say I'm watching TV and there's someone talking in the dining room or something. Uh-huh. I can't focus. I can't hear the TV, even if the TV's super. I can't do it. I don't know why. it gets into my head and it bothers me so much.
Sometimes I think you do have hard of hearing because sometimes you ask me what I said like 3 times.
No, that's just because I don't believe half the shit you say. I'm like, I can't believe you just said that, dude.
Well, yeah, it's another story, but yeah, hemorrhoids will burn.
Oh, yeah. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
I have a little experience.
So let's get started with Bunker Hill since it's
Let's get started. I was going to ask Chris if he has any
Chris,
nickname
before
stories.
Go on to something else. You got any nickname stories?
Like other than CJ?
CJ's just lame, bro. I'm sorry.
Definitely don't look like a CJ.
I'm gonna say no. Well, my friends at college, it depends. It depends on the night.
Yeah.
So my last name's Malamoomy.
Yeah.
And they'll call me like they called me like Mala Monster the other day because I did something ridiculous, or like Malamoomy, like because all right. Well, there's a story to that one. So there was this kid who I think went to my school. Now I've only been there for like 2.5 months now.
Yeah.
But apparently he doesn't go there anymore. And he was a special kind of kid. Not gonna lie, you know. He probably, you know, had something going on in his head.
Yeah.
But he tried to find me for the longest time because he messaged me on Facebook over the summer and he knew that I was like an audio production student. Mm-hmm. And so he walked into this class. I wasn't there. One of my suite mates was there, and he just came in. He's like, "Oh, I'm just observing all the classes here. Like, I'm a freshman. Like, blah blah blah." And then he said somehow I came up, and there was this kid who lives on my floor, and he goes, "Oh, I know that kid. He lives in suite XXX."
Oh man!
Gave my room number.
Oh shit!
And then my suite mate, who's also in that class, was like, "Dude, that was not cool. That was not cool." So,
oh, man.
So basically, like after that, this kid apparently went to my room, knocked on the door for a long ass time, and my actual roommate was in the room, and no one ever knocks on our door. We hate when people knock on our door. Yeah. Like if you're our friend and you want to hang out, like just text us door and we'll let you in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we hate random people in our room. We just don't like it.
Yeah, of course.
Sure. So he's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, who's knocking on my door? Like, this kid's slamming on the door at this point. Wow. He goes over, he opens the door, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for Chris." And now, meanwhile, our names are printed on the outside of our door, like the 4 names that are in our suite. And I do live with another Chris. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for Chris." He looks at the names, Malamoomy, and he just butchers my last name. And my suite mate is like, "Dude, like, what the fuck? You don't even know how to say his name. Why are you looking for this kid?" So he's like, "No, Chris Malamoomy is not here right now." You know, you would think the kid would just walk away, right?
Yeah.
No, the kid proceeded to ask, "Oh, well, when do you think he's going to be back? How often is he in the room? Does he spend a lot of time, a little bit of the time?
Jesus,
like,
dude.
Some of the time?" And my roommate is like, "I really don't know. He's just not here right now, so you should come back later." Just closes the door on his face, and the kid stood there for like another good minute or so. And my roommate was like, "That's weird as fuck. I'm going back to bed."
Oh, man.
Now, this happened multiple times, and I have never been in the room when he came by.
Oh, that's good.
No.
That's good. You've lucked out.
Oh, I was very close to coming into confrontation. I walked into the elevator one day, and I looked over, and it was him. And immediately, I whipped out my phone, put my head down, and just started fucking typing away at the most random shit.
It's like, this is my letter. Please. If anything happens to me.
I was like, please,
I've been killed in the elevator.
Yeah, I hit my fucking floor button. I'm like, come on. I got out of the elevator unscathed. I do not think he knew it was me.
Oh,
and
man.
I do not think he goes to the school anymore. So I am blessed to have fought that confrontation. I have escaped it. And now my friends call me Malamoomy. Malamoomy, yeah. So that's all I got going for me right now.
That is good.
That's pretty good.
Producer Malamoomy. I don't know. I just call you Chris, man.